Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name's Andy, Corporate Commander TFW, and I'm joined this week by the blue milk guzzler himself. It's Mikey G. Wolf E3. Hello, Mikey.
I have no words for that.
I had no words when I saw it either, Mikey. I had a lot of words when I saw that.
That look of quiet acceptance on the milk cow.
Yep. Yeah, we'll get to that in the off-topic part of the conversation of what we did this week. But Mikey, how you doing? Good? You feeling fine and dandy?
Grand, you?
Yeah, not too bad. We may as well bounce right into the Transformers news of the week. Very heavily third-party based. It's
first time in a while.
Yeah, primarily third-party based. I don't think we've had any convention recently that focused on third-party, but it just all seems to come together, didn't it, for some reason?
That after quite a dry period, it has to be said, though.
No, that's very true. Yeah, maybe they're just all holding out till now. But we're going to start off with FansToys as they show off Dracula, coloured images. Blech. Did you just go blech?
I went blech.
I thought you did. You disgusted me. For those not aware, Dracula, in the context of this Transformer toy, is a third-party version, Masterpiece styled, of course, version of Mindwipe, G1 Mindwipe. There's not a lot of extra info, but he seems to come with his headmaster, obviously Vorath, and his gun, and that's primarily about it. We see him in his robot mode, in a few poses, in his bat mode, and him standing alongside their Weird Wolf and their Galvatron, which they released a decent amount of time ago at this point, right?
Yeah, a good while ago.
Yeah. So how do you think Mindwipe turned out then, Mr. Mikey? Do you like it? Because we were kind of okay on Weird Wolf. We weren't super impressed. But we were like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, this guy's pretty good. I think the wings on the bat mode are well engineered. Very posable. There's a lot of mobility in the actual wings, which is difficult enough to do while keeping a good sculpt. The robot, the bat body is a bit all over the place for me, but that's just the G1 nature of it.
Yeah.
Also, I think the head's a little overly pointy, the little bat head.
Yeah, there was something I thought that was just a little bit off about it as well. Maybe it's the color. I think the brown's quite light on it, but that might just be the exposure on the camera.
The robot mode looks pretty solid. I mean, it's kind of hilarious how much he is... him and I'd say actually most of the headmasters in general are just sort of like generic robot until you put on their kibble.
Yeah.
Like when you think back on it, really. But I think he's turned out fairly well. Face sculpt looks pretty solid. I think having the movable wings will be a really good thing in robot mode. Because I know what they're going for with the big wings swept up like that, but I would like to see him posed a bit less. I don't know, 80s.
The wings weren't that big in the cartoon either. It was
no.
The original G1 toy was much more accurate. Actually, the Titan Master version with the small wings is much more accurate as well than the massive wings.
I think the wings very much they're that size because of the bat mode.
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
Because they're in scale with the bat mode. It just maybe if they collapsed in on themselves a little bit for robot mode, might look a bit less dominating, but I think he's turned out fairly well. Be curious to see what he looks like in hand. We don't see any pictures of the... Oh, we do. I was going to say we don't see any pictures of the headmaster, but as I wait for the internet to load, yeah, he's kind of neat. He's a bit plain.
Yes,
I think it might just be his color choice, but he doesn't pop as much as Weird Wolf's.
I would mention as well that, again, the headmaster head, Vorath, isn't animation accurate. In the show, his face was white with red eyes, rather than just having an all-black head with the red visor. So, in my eyes...
Are they going for animation model, or are they going for
Well, they're not going for toy.
I don't know. Are they making up their own version? Who knows?
I don't know. I always thought that they were going for the animation version because that seems to be what Weird Wolf looked like, and it seems to be what they're going for their Galvatron as well. And it's meant to be a masterpiece scale, kind of put this next to your legit masterpiece stuff. So I would have thought it would be, in that kind of line of it needs to be animation accurate at this point. I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird choice. I'm not super amazed by it. It doesn't look too bad. A bit just like, yeah, okay. Like you said, it's very much a very basic robot, but with the highlight of having the big bat wings attached to him, and that's about it. Not a lot of oomph behind it. Maybe I'd feel more oomphy if this was a legend scale thing and it was doing the things at that scale that they're doing at this scale. Yeah. But from robot mode to bat mode, it doesn't look like it's doing anything that would be considered masterpiece tech level.
No, it looks very, very simple.
Maybe it's not. Maybe there's more to it than what we can see in the images, which I'm sure there's probably the case, but I don't know how much more there can be to this, I
do find it slightly interesting these days that in many ways a lot of people got into third-party Masterpiece because it was that character they already did, but with better engineering and everything else.
Yeah.
And nowadays, Masterpiece itself is outstripping a lot of third-party in terms of technical engineering and everything else behind it.
Yeah, in some ways. Some people obviously don't want that kind of complex transformation. But then it's strange why they'd go for a Masterpiece toy, which I thought my thing would be when I'm paying that kind of money, I better see that money. Yeah.
In something more than just say, it's big.
Maybe there is that we're just not seeing from these images here. Maybe it does have that heft and that quality hand feel.
Ah, you said it.
I did. I always say because I'm a terrible person. Maybe it just has that feel in the hand that makes you go, okay, I can see where the money goes. But from images, certainly, I don't see where the money they're asking for is going. But again, production costs of a third-party toy versus a cost of a proper toy that goes out everywhere across the world.
These days, though, the third-party toys are in general cheaper than the Masterpiece, though.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
I think it's difficult to judge standards nowadays.
Yeah, it's not as cut and dry as it used to be. In some aspects, in other ones, it's still very much cut and dry. I'll take us on though, because we've got another bit of news to follow that. As Fans Toys show off the FT26 Chomp. Unsurprisingly, Chomp is Skullcruncher, again Masterpiece styled, following Dracula and Lupus. I was thinking they were going to go for like a monster-esque themed naming system, and they almost did.
What would you call him?
That's the thing. Like something of the Black Lagoon.
Placid?
Creature. See, there you go. Like the movie that no one remembers. I remember, though. I guarantee if you say Lake Placid to people, a lot of, like nowadays, like to younger kids than us, they'd be like, I have no idea what the fuck are you talking about.
They were still making them, Andy.
What's that?
They're still Lake Placid movies. There's at least 3 or 4.
What? I thought they only did one.
No.
Oh, they had to be direct to DVD.
They're the direct-to-DVD sci-fi channel-esque run of them.
That makes a lot more sense.
Followed by Anaconda, and I think there's Lake Placid versus Anaconda.
Really?
Lake Placid never explains that crocodile.
What do you mean?
In the movie.
Betty White feeds it?
Okay.
Betty White feeds the little tiny crocs, and then it grows up to be massive.
Why?
Because Betty White feeds it.
What's she feeding it?
I don't know, bread. like gluten's really good for crocodiles. We just never knew.
This is why gluten-free diets exist, to prevent the crocodiles from turning on us.
Exactly. Sewer gators and all that jazz. That's why we don't want bread in our sewers. And that sounds like a weird statement that political people get bread out of the sewers.
Get bread out of our sewers, save the crocodiles.
But Chomp, we obviously see him in prototype mode. He is uncolored. He has a sword, which is not part of his tail, so that's kind of nice. He also has his gun. We don't see his headmaster off of his body, but we do get to see him stood next to the other group. Mikey, how do you feel about Chomp? Uncolored, I would have to say, looks very boring.
Yeah, less interest. Like, I've never actually liked Skullcruncher's robot mode.
Any reason?
Like, it's just so boring. It's always been boring. Like, the thing about Skullcruncher that everyone remembers is the color in the alt mode.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one remembers the details of his design. Because there's nothing there. Like, one thing I'm surprised I don't like is the croc mode.
Oh, really? I think that, I mean, again, they're going for an animation accurate version, and it looks like the kind of jokey crocodile alligator form that he had in the Headmaster's
cartoon. I
cartoon.
really don't like that head design.
I
like the articulation in the tail.
Yeah.
And I think the legs, like, I think they don't have any ankle tilts. So that I don't think they're going to be as posable as they might first appear.
I think the back ones look like they might, but the front ones don't look like they do.
But I'm just really not, like, the head's too small relative to the body. He doesn't look like anything. Like, again, I think he'll pop better when he's colored.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. He looks like someone got a crocodile and then smushed it.
I smushed it with a duck head.
Yeah, a space duck.
Space duck, majestic.
Cracking away. I'm just not a fan of it. I'll be completely honest. But I think the engineering looks better than Mindwipe's.
Yeah, it looks like there's a bit more in there at least.
Because it looks like those tails split and do a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, yeah. I think he'll be more engaging in hand than he looks. But I also think, like, Weirdwolf is kind of winning these three, and I don't think either of us were super fussed about Weirdwolf beyond, he looks competent.
Do you think that was the production of these was done deliberately to be arguably the most interesting to the least? So by the time you're either one or two figures in deep, you're locked in. You don't have a choice. You have to get the last one at that point, right?
You say that, but a lot of people think Skullcruncher first because of the colors.
Really, I'm surprised because he was not the leader in Headmasters.
No, but he's associated with G2 visually. Like, usually you'll get Skullcruncher and Weirdwolf because they have G2 colors.
I guess.
They're not G2 characters, but they are neon as hell.
Yeah.
Or at least relatively neon. And Mindwipe's just sort of, like, remembered for being a psychic bat. Like, hell, if you want to talk memorability in terms of just, like, the effect of nostalgia, Mindwipe's a psychic bat. What do the other two have?
Are we talking about from Rebirth, or are we talking about from Headmasters? Because in Headmasters, Weirdwolf was the leader, so he had that going for him, and Skullcruncher was the idiot.
But do the people who buy this, a lot of them haven't seen Headmasters.
I mean, I don't.
A lot of them have seen Rebirth.
I don't know if we can say that because I don't know what the market is like in Japan for these companies.
I would say certainly the most of the sales for third-party stuff happens in the West.
That would probably make sense, but I wouldn't want to hammer that home without, like,
I have a hammer, I have a square hole, and I have a round peg.
I'd want legit figures. I'd want sales figures and shipping things.
I want numbers.
I want numbers. Like, what's sexier than anything? Numbers. Numbers are the sexiest things.
Japanese numbers. Like, that is what fan service is. Exactly.
That's your next anime, like, ecchi series. Accounting. Banking.
I don't know. I was looking at one called, or looking to start watching one called Bento during the week. So I mean, there are weirder ideas.
Is that about creating bento boxes? Lunch
that
boxes?
Is about fighting over bento boxes.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed that. That's for sure. Okay, weird. There's no other information on this guy. It doesn't say when he's coming out or anything about pricing or anything like that. Just he's coming at some point. Mikey, do you want to take us on to X2?
Yeah, X2 Toys have released images of Giga Raiden. This is a posable Optimus Prime. I don't think he's No, he does transform. He is transformed, but they seem to be going along the same lines as what was it? Was it Make Toys or Mastermind who did the Striker Manus stuff?
Oh, I can't remember.
Where they were leaning towards very, very posable. So this is a G1 style Optimus Prime with loads of crazy joints. They show him doing kick poses and Iron Man landings and the whole kit caboodle. And then he has his truck mode, which has a very big bed. He is thick in the back.
No, he is. It's true.
Yeah. And we see him colored with a Nemesis variant.
Of course.
Andy, thoughts on this guy?
How big is he?
Do we have... I mean, we've got a scale of him next to a picture of a panda.
Yeah.
And a scale of him next to a box with toys.
Yeah.
So I'd say he's somewhere around 6 inch plus.
Is he? Like
5.7 inches. Oh, I'm good.
That's
classic scaled.
Yeah, like I was thinking if this was the size of the Robot Master one, if you remember that from however many years ago that was. If it was that scale, which was what, 3 to 4 inches?
I'd say closer to 4.
Yeah, I'd say closer to 4 as well, to be honest. 4 inches. If it was that, I'd be like, this is okay. It's not. It's deluxe scale, seemingly, right? Relatively.
Yeah, classics, deluxe-ish. Maybe. Yeah,
so,
maybe.
In that vein. And for that kind of scale, I'm not super impressed. It's got some... For better or for worse, it's got some very unique proportions to it.
Yeah. What's going on with his midsection?
I don't know, but he's very long in the torso. Of the abs, I should say.
He's got an ab crunch.
Yes.
But it also makes it look like his body has been sliced in half.
His head's the points on the top of his like little pointy bits for his head look like they've been just snipped off as well, which is odd.
It's like you've got the normal points and then you've got 2 extra points that don't go as far as they should.
And the fact that you can see the pins in his shoulders for his shoulder joints make it seem like it's not finished, and the fact that they've got the holes in the top of his thighs to show where the mushroom peg, not the mushroom peg, the disc joint would go seems again a bit cheap. It's like someone 3D printed this, and it was a 3D printed idea rather than a third party idea.
Yeah, I see what you mean there.
It's a strange one because I wouldn't say it's like, I don't think it's outright terrible. No. I think it's outright terrible if it's like $60 or £60. Then I think it's outright terrible. But if this is say like 20 to 30 pounds, which it would still be steep, but for a third party toy, I'd be like, okay, it's fine.
Do you know what's really, really weird to me?
What's that?
He has a firing missile gun.
Does he? I didn't see that. Is that in the... Oh, yeah, there it is. Yes, in the uncoded ones.
3 missiles.
Yeah, that is weird.
Why?
I don't know. I like the fact that his ion blaster is a missile firer, though, because usually you don't see that. Usually when he has that.
Different.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's essential, though, but...
No, but the proportions in this guy are just odd. I mean, maybe it's to give him... Like, he's both very long in the torso and then very short.
Are we sure this isn't just like a garage kit from a Japanese convention?
No, X2 Toys is a full third-party company.
It really looks like it could be sold as a garage kit.
I've heard of that. Who have they done before? Because I remember we were talking about them a while back. But I think they might be relatively new on the scene, yeah. Who have they done on, let's see, TF Source.
Show to me.
They've done a big computer. They did that big Jetfire that came out a while ago.
The really, really big one.
I think so, yeah. Sky Crusher.
Right.
They did some backgrounds, like those chain bases. They did an upgrade set for Devastator. They did Geminis. Oh, they did the Autobot clones. They did a lot of upgrade kits.
Oh.
A lot of upgrade kits. So they've only done a couple of full figures. I do have a pre-order price from TF Source, though.
Oh, for this thing? Okay, hit me with it.
$60.
Oh, well, do you remember what we just talked about? I'm sticking with it. I think for 60, it's asking for way too much.
Because to be fair, like, I'm looking at their pricing and it ain't great.
To me, it doesn't seem like a third-party toy. It really doesn't, especially for that kind of price. It seems like a low-run garage kit fan thing more so than anything else. If you buy it, dear listener, you're well within your rights to, but I think for that amount of money, you could put it towards another third-party item and get arguably get a better figure out of it than this. But that's just me. I don't know. Oh, on a side note, Mikey, did you see more images of what's it called? The Hearts of Steel Bumblebee that...
Yeah, a few coloured ones.
Yeah, a few more coloured ones with extra paint. So it was extra painted, and I was like, oh man, it looks even better now. Well, it's not a news story for this week, but I did see that and I thought, oh, that's kind of nice. It's they just made it look a little bit prettier. I think that looks better than these two, personally. I mean, for $60, I would expect you to get a trailer with it, but you don't.
Oh, yeah.
But there you go. Shall I take us on, Mikey?
Yep.
Well, it's another Fans Toys thing, because I clearly didn't look at these stories correctly. But this time it's the FT29 Quintus. Is that right? Quintus? Quietus? Yeah, that's a stupid name. Quietus.
So quiet.
He's from the Quiet Place movie. I think Quintus sounds like a better name than Quietus. Why
think
Quietus?
I'm assuming it's something in Latin that has to do with cyclones or number twos or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. They're doing a Cyclonus figure to go along with their Galvatron, who is Sovereign. So Sovereign and Quietus. Maybe we're just pronouncing it incorrectly and looking like utter fools. Who knows? No, not fools. Utter fools. Initially, it was unclear whether or not Fans Toys would include the add-on accessory that would have given collectors the ability to turn Quintus into the IDW iteration of Cyclonus, but additional pieces have been released, and these pieces, as well as a Target Master figure, will be included with Quietus. Quintus, that guy.
Andy, there's no N.
I don't care.
Just call it Quietus.
No, Quintus sounds better.
It's not his name!
Yeah, but the name I'm giving him is way better. Fight me on this. Exactly. We don't see these pieces that they talk about.
We do. Scroll down.
Do we? Okay, it must be further down in the thing.
I'm looking at them now.
Is it in the Show Me More bit? Yes, it is. Yeah, I had to click on Show Me More.
And it's also got, like, he's going to have face plates. Like, he'll have 4 face plates.
Oh, yeah.
For two of them are standard staring and 2 of them are screaming. And the difference is that 2 of them will have a soul patch and 2 of them won't.
Hey, I think that's an important thing because, does your Cyclonus sport a goatee or not?
Does your Cyclonus shave regularly?
Exactly. And your IDW Cyclonus can have 1 horn or 2. But Mikey, no scratches on his face, I notice.
Are we talking like the traumatic claw marks or sad tear faces?
No, I mean the sad emo. Woe is me.
Why isn't that a thing? Why hasn't someone announced that for one of the Cyclonuses?
I'm hoping because people know that it's wrong.
No, I'm sure people like it.
I'm sure they do as well.
I'm sure we're the wrong ones in people's eyes.
It's all relative, I suppose, at the end of the day. But yeah, he's got 2 swords and he's got his little side skirt, hip guard things as well. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I think is a bit odd. There's a picture of him next to Cyclonus. He's Cyclonus. Next to Galvatron and next to their version of Six-Shot.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that really stands out to me is the paint job on Cyclonus.
Is much better.
Is it better?
I like it a lot more because it's glossy and metallic.
Yeah, it's got the glossy metallic look. Again, I think that's up to, like, if you don't like your glossy metallic-y kind of figures, fair enough. But it doesn't match up with the other 2. And
no.
I think you should have tried to match it to the other 2 since
its legs
they're part of the same line.
His legs kind of do.
It's really the chest, isn't it? Like, that chest has hella gloss on it, unless it's just the way the photos have been taken of him.
But the forearms have it as well.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's a really strange choice.
I mean, as an isolated figure, though, I think it makes him pop a lot.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
If you weren't really concerned about getting the other 2 and you're just like, hey, I want Cyclonus.
How do you think it turned out then for a Cyclonus, Mikey? Do you think it's good? Do you like it?
He has emotive horns.
Yeah, yes, you can fiddle with them.
Like, he can be Happy Bunny or Sad Bunny. I actually like him quite a bit. I think the jet mode is magic. I don't know. I don't even want to guess how you get something that thin out of that robot. Like, I can get some of it, but the rest is it's black magic, the blackest. But I think the robot mode turned out fairly well. I like most of the face options he's got. The IDW bit, I'm a little up and down on.
I'm not shocked it's there, but it's something I would, if I owned this figure, I would never touch personally.
Well, I'm all for a version of IDW Cyclonus, but one thing no one's doing is making IDW Cyclonus.
No, they're doing a lot of add-on kits for Cyclonus figures, G1 Cyclonus figures.
Or doing Mastermind figures that they then modify into a Cyclonus.
Yeah.
Like, no one's done an IDW Cyclonus, and I cannot for the life of me understand why.
Is it
we got
because
tailgates.
It can save money? Like,
No.
so you can put out a G1
I think-
Cyclonus and then also have an IDW one? And
I
it
think
just
this is
kind of
about
maximizes?
making money, not saving money.
Maybe.
Because, hey, buy our G1 Cyclonus, and all you comic fans, buy this because, represent.
Sure.
So I'm just surprised that with the prominence of IDW in the third-party market, we haven't had one of the companies go, here's a guaranteed sale of a comic-accurate version of the character. I think he actually blends fairly well on the head. It just, like, the skirt bits don't work with the lines of the toy.
Yeah.
They really break up. Also, I don't know, like, the two swords, I see what they were going for, but it's a little distracting when he's got sword sheaths on his other hip.
Is that a little much for you?
It's one of those things, why doesn't he have 4 swords? What happens to the other two? And also, this is the wrong color for IDW Cyclonus.
Yeah, it's not, yeah.
And it's very muted for him.
Mm-hmm.
I want a good Cyclonus figure. I like Cyclonus. Cyclonus is cool. I just want people to do a full figure of it. Like,
sure.
We got Tailgate before we got Cyclonus.
Mm.
And I feel we got Swerve before we got Cyclonus. These are not wrong things to happen. They're just, I don't understand them. But the overall figure, I think, is pretty solid for a G1 G1 representation of the cartoon. The soul patch thing is hilarious.
Yeah,
but
I think it's good. It's good as it's there. How do you have yours? Would you have him soul patched or soul patched less?
The soul patch makes me think Heart of Darkness's stupid chain beard, so I would be without. I would be without.
Never forget. Never forget.
The comic where Cyclonus was a fucking idiot. We're all going to die. Cut to Cyclonus looking in completely the wrong direction. But what do you think of him, Andy?
I think he's pretty decent for a G1 Cyclonus. Like you, I don't think he works at all for IDW. Really, it's very much a patch-on job, which is He does seem to work some kind of crazy magic to get that mode, which is pretty accurate again to the cartoon model. Pretty impressed. Looks nice. It makes me really want an official proper Cyclonus. The last one we had was only in Japan. I would say was worthwhile getting. Because I'm sorry, the American one was just standard purple and had no oomph behind it. At least the Japanese Galvatron thing, Galvatronus had some oomph behind it and some really cool exclusive figures. But I'd like proper Cyclonus. It's a shame that we didn't get a Cyclonus with all the Target Masters.
Yeah.
But there you go, I suppose. Mikey, do you want to take us on to even more third-party stuff?
Yeah, Black Mamba, who I don't recognize the name of.
Nor I.
Have revealed over on BB7 Toys on Facebook a G1-inspired Menasor designed to be compatible with Combiner Wars toys. Now, this was done before by the company Boldform with their figure Lone Wolf, who was originally intended to be the first of a series of Stunticons, but ended up just being a figure designed to be Combiner Wars compatible. I don't think he ever released the others. I think his next figure was Gladius, which was the Megatron, and that went down like a brick. That toy did not go down well. So I think either the company folded or they kind of stepped back from their plans. But Black Mamba, they're doing this Combiner Wars compatible Menasor. We see him in truck, robot, and combined form. These have quite a soft prototypey look to them, especially the Menasor head.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt and say, well, more is going to be done. Also, he is using Blackjack as a chess piece, isn't he?
In the combined mode, yes.
Yeah. I think they weren't sure what aesthetic they were going for with this guy. He's, especially, like, Motormaster, the head is off.
Definitely.
And there's this weird contradiction between the head and the really simple head and this incredibly panel-lined everything else.
Yeah.
The sword is basically panel lines combined into a blade. I like the sword the most out of all of those. The Menasor, I think the proportions are a lot better than the Combiner Wars one.
Yes, that's fair.
It's just they doesn't look like aesthetically. He seems to be based off of one of the weaker, like, you know how Menasor was one of those guys whose show model shifted a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like they got a bad sell when they were designing this. But no, it's weird. Like, I can't say much for Motormaster. Like, colored up, I think Menasor could work. The truck mode's pretty decent, though, I have to say.
Yeah.
And I find it so weird that they included Blackjack.
It's nice that they included it.
There's gonna be this something that's always bugged me about the Command & Wars Menasor is the fact that the way the little shield piece, the little axe.
Oh yes.
The way it sticks out.
Yeah.
Don't like that.
No.
So I'm hoping he folds in a bit more. But Andy, what's your thoughts on him?
For Motormaster himself, I would describe him as he looks like he is a cameo Easter egg character drawn in a different animation style, far away in the background of a different show. Which is why he kind of looks like Motormaster to me, but not really at the same time. It's like he was added to, oh god, what was it called? Panty & Stockings.
Yeah, I was just thinking that as well.
Yeah, it kind of looks like he's a robot from that, which was a reference, which was weird. Like you, the combined mode is this weird mishmash of maybe G1, kind of Devastation, the video game, and sort of IDW as well, because of the big shoulder pads next to his head. I'd want a closer look up to how the faces turned out. But yeah, the proportions are definitely much more improved, but that's not a huge thing to claim when the original Motormaster had many a problem, bless him. If you scroll down, you even see an image of what the original Motormaster looked like, but with the upgrade kit. Kind of think the one with the upgrade kit might look a little bit better. Yeah. Just maybe. But, granted, the upgrade kit picture doesn't have it with the correct hands on. It's got the standard hands, but never mind that at least.
The fools.
The fools, I say. The fools. Yeah, it's not for Andy.
No, that's a good way of putting it.
Not for Andy. It's the nice way of putting it, I think.
Yeah.
Shall I take us on, Mikey?
Yep.
TFC Toys. We get some more images from, it feels like ages ago since we talked about this, but apparently we have. The ST Commander, the Rolling Thunder Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime based on the Rolling Thunder, which is a G.I. Joe vehicle. We had one of these years and years and years ago, which was of lower quality.
X over Gen, if I remember correctly.
Lower quality. This one, done by TFC Toys, looks better visually. Obviously, it might not be in hand, but it is the size of...
It would hard to be worse in hand.
Mikey, it could always be... You need to remember, it can always be worse.
No, Andy, that was like one of the very first third-party toys.
Oh, Mikey.
The worst toys that come out now are better quality, and that is a sad reflection on things.
You have such hope in your heart.
It's not hope, it's realism.
There's always like you think you've hit rock bottom. There's always further to fall. Never forget that. This guy is the same scale as the MP10 Optimus Prime. Currently all colored in black, so it's not desperately helpful. He has a multitude of accessories, it seems, through multiple guns, multiple guns which you can stick on his robot mode. Missiles.
To give him multiple guns.
Yep, missiles he can shove awkwardly onto his robot mode as well. His vehicle mode, again, packed to the brim with lots of silver tiny guns. Seemingly can be manned by Micromasters? Not Micromasters, Diaclone dudes.
Diaclone men, yeah.
Yeah, which is neat. I don't think they come with it, but it's nice to have that interactivity, I suppose.
I was disappointed when I realized these weren't part of the set.
Yeah. They've tried to match it to have the Headmasters, the Titan Masters go in there, and it sort of...
A blowpipe?
Works. It looks a little bit cramped, but it kind of works. He also has a base mode, which is kind of a neat novelty as well in this day and age, and I think it's a fairly decent base mode. Right?
I'm saving my opinion until it's my turn.
Oh, okay. I think it's a fairly decent base mode for what they're doing. It reminds me of the Micromaster bases, and some people may hate those. Fair enough. But I always remember the little Micromaster bases fairly fondly. Mikey, what do you think of this guy then?
This guy better be done in green.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people saying that. I don't think this would work as well red. I'm really interested to see what color they're gonna do it in. When you say green, would you want him with camo green as well?
I would like that option, but I think first of all I'd like solid green.
Right.
But oh wow, I love this thing.
Oh.
I think the overall sculpt looks very, very good. I've always liked the Rolling Thunder design. It's an old Don Figueroa design that I don't think ever got made. But I think it's turned out really nicely. The weapons accessories are hilarious.
Yes.
I really like the amount of posability. He's got an ab crunch.
Yeah.
Which I adore. And I am surprisingly into the idea of this guy being a tiny Diaclone base. Like, I was looking at it and all the little robots and everything else working about him. The idea of this being like the impression you get off of this whole imagery is that they're thinking of him as a mech.
Yeah.
They're not thinking of him as Optimus Prime. Like, they're going like, he's got all these interact abilities, all these little things they could do with these tiny figures. And he's some sort of military real robot mech.
Yeah.
Like, I if he came out in the green, I would be so into that concept. I am surprisingly into the idea that just someone designed a robot out of a G.I. Joe vehicle that happened to look like Optimus Prime, but, you know, somewhere in there is a tiny man, tiny piloting. In fact, I'm fairly certain I can see some spots you could sick him.
Probably, yeah.
So yeah, like, this would get me to buy Diaclone stuff.
I was going to say that because it sounds like a real slippery slope. Like,
yep.
You'd have it and you'd be like, well, I've got this cool base mode, but I can't do anything with it because the Titan Masters are just slightly too big for it. But you know what I could do?
You'd have to buy all the little Diaclone men.
Yep.
You have to buy the little mechs because, you know, they're the guys who like are running maintenance and everything else in them. You need to buy the bigger Diaclone robots because they extend the base.
Yep.
And then you can have backup if, you know, a fight breaks out. Like, yeah, this is a dangerous slope because this is something I think needs those little people around it. And the Titan Masters, God bless them, don't work.
No, at best they kind of work.
Yeah.
And I say that being kind. You know what this has made me want more than anything else? I really wouldn't mind if they weren't ridiculously expensive, just those little mech suits.
Yeah,
they look quite fun.
You can get those, but I'm not sure. But I love the little like car, the little moon buggy thing.
Which one? The one from him or the actual Diaclone thing?
The Diaclone thing.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if you meant the weird roller thing with the massive cannon on it that almost looks like a rolling shoe.
I kind of like that as well,
yes.
But again, only with little Diaclone men.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know, like, I'm really surprised how into this I am.
Yeah, like you, it's going to be interesting to see what they do color-wise for it. Are they going to do the right thing? Are they going to do the wrong thing? Or are they going to do a weird in-betweeny thing? Because this, I don't think, would work in standard Optimus Prime red and blue colors.
No, the X over Gen 1 didn't.
No. I think what you could do is you could have his primarily his body green, and then, like, parts of him are red and blue. Like, it's almost like someone sprayed over, like, significant parts of him. So, as long as his vehicle mode is fully green, and then just, like, bits of different colors, I'd be okay with that. Do you think we'll get a Nemesis Prime version?
I'd be okay with that, I'll be completely honest.
Oh, no, Ultra Magnus version, because you could...
I'd be less okay with that.
But you could class it as the snow, the Arctic base version.
True.
That would make sense. I could see them.
It would have to be, like, if they did a camo version with blue eyes, then, like, you know, we all know it's Ultra Magnus, but it's done in camo colors, I'd be okay with that.
Like white, but then with, like...
spots of grey and everything else.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Again, that would make it not just a white version of the toy. I'd be okay with that, sure. Yeah. Pretty neat little thing. I look forward to seeing more information on this when it eventually comes out, theoretically. Mikey, I want you to talk to me about flame toys, because this is your subject, because you've told me something that I think is quite a dangerous subject this week, haven't you? You told me about a mistake you'd like to make.
There is a mistake I like to make. So Flame Toys, we're not talking about it here, but they released their gallery of Tarn, and That toy is literally an orgasm given human form and then made plastic. And I am selling stuff on eBay. I have gotten pre-orders in on a couple of things that I want, using eBay money. And I've got my eBay. If everything I've got on eBay sold and sold at the price it's advertised as, I would just have enough money for Tarn.
Oh,
just.
Is this after the purchases of the other things that you've picked up recently?
Yeah. If everything that's sold from now on.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, I mean, I could do that. I mean, there's a couple of things I want to get that, aren't costing an arm and a leg. Like, there's a couple of Nendoroids I want to pick up, but, I mean, I could just save money and get one really, really, really pretty toy. Oh, Andy, he is an erotic experience. Have you seen the extras he comes with?
I haven't actually, no.
Oh, no. So there is an exclusive version of him that was announced, and it's not on the story. Someone sent it to me after I said, like, I'm a little disappointed, like, because he costs more than Drift, and he's not that much taller, but he's a lot bigger.
Yeah, you said that to Chris, and Chris just put you in your place.
Yeah, just like, hey man, fully articulated fingers. But he does come with, like, he comes with a couple of cannons, and he comes with little, like, bludgeoning sticks. And his mask is removable, so you do have the fully sculpted, scarred up face underneath. But apparently, for an exclusive version, One Shop is getting a clean faceplate and speakers.
Oh, okay.
That you plug into his shoulders. I get the idea behind that.
Yeah.
Which is Tarn kills you with his voice. And then he, like, I don't know, puts two big speakers out of his back and goes boom and kills everyone. It's just very odd to see that on Tarn. So yeah, I'm not decided what I'll do about that. Obviously, if I don't sell 300 and something worth of, stuff, it's, a moot point. But moving on, we had reveals of the prototype of the Kuro Karakuri Flame Toys Optimus Prime. This is going to be their 4th release. Now, this is different from the model kit line that they're doing. Different designer, different everything else. There's some aesthetic similarities, but he is a lot more super robot, I think, than that one, and a lot less stylized.
Okay.
Because the model kit one has some really sharp, thin angles. This one has a bit more super robot beef. Everything about this line is looking phenomenal, and if I hear the word Action Master one more time, I will actually shit a brick.
But Mikey, they're alive.
Ugh, maybe, but they're not fucking Action Masters. Like, you stop saying, like, oh, I'm not buying a giant expensive Action Master. It's not a fucking Action Master!
Hey, they gave up the power to transform.
Maybe, but fuck off. That's it. I want to see Fiction of Tarn have him become an Action Master. Can you imagine, like, his living hell? That would
be great.
I want to change. I want to change. Let me change. Starts ripping off his own arms. What are you doing? I'm changing. I am less excited about this one because we've seen a fair few stylized Optimus Primes. So this doesn't wow me as much. I think it looks like a very solid design. And if nothing else, that is an awesome head sculpt. But I think it'll probably be a very good figure, but this is easily their least engaging product for me personally.
Oh, all right.
Just because, like, we've seen stylized Optimuses a billion times now, so this is just, like, the latest in a long line.
1 billion times, says Mikey.
$1 million. Andy, what's your thoughts on Flame Toys Karakuri Optimus Prime?
It's an Optimus Prime. He's big. He's beefy, but he's very Optimus Prime, and it's hard to get excited for even more Optimus Primes.
It feels like a weirdly conservative thing to do after Drift, Tarn, and Star Saber.
Optimus Prime always feels like a really conservative thing to do through any company.
Yeah. All right. So, what if they announced they were doing Megatron?
Which one?
What if they said we're doing the IDW Megatron, a stylized version of that?
Well,
because that is the safe choice.
It's a safe choice, but I don't think specifically IDW Megatron has been handled that many times. Like we got the Mastermind Creations one, and that's been about it, right? I can't think of any other IDW
certainly
ones.
Autobot Megatron. No, of Autobot Megatron. We've had a couple of the Stealth Bomber, but
I would say though that if you're gonna pull someone from More Than Meets the Eye, I think a better character to do that would have oomph, and you wouldn't need to worry about people bitching and whining that it doesn't transform because it never transformed in the comic, would be Tyrest.
ooh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, wouldn't it? Because
I like
as
that.
far as I know, he never transformed in the comic from what I remember. I'm sure Alex designed an alt mode for him though. I'm pretty
he
positive.
turned into a coat rack with a cape in it.
Or a gavel. That'd be great.
With a cape in it.
Exactly. Oh, he's a classy gavel, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's an interesting design that no one's done. No one's done anything of Tyrest, so you could give him extra hands with drills for fingers and all that kind of stupid stuff. So I think that would be an interesting thing to do. But that's not safe. It's not nearly as safe as Optimus Prime and Megatron.
No. I mean, if you're going down that regard, I wouldn't mind them giving a go to the Mistress of Flame.
Sure, that'd be interesting as well, having her
but
with the first toy.
I would also insist that her hammer had a sound effect.
So
like every time you hit the bottom, it just went ding, ding, ding.
You're an awful human being.
And just a voice clip of the actress.
Oh, I like this idea for all the worst reasons. That would be great.
Yep.
Anything else?
No. I just keep an eye on. I'm sure we'll see colored shots soon. And remember, they once taunted me about Grimlock.
They did. So I'm guessing that'll be popping up at some point in the future.
Or their dicks.
Or the dicks, which could be the case. Who knows? Shall it take us on, Mikey?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Mikey. Transformers movie studio series seems to be hitting in America. People have been picking these toys up recently. So we've got some stock images of the Megatron, the Revenge of the Fallen Megatron, that one without the hole in his head, and the Brawl. Brawl, who's standing on some pennies or coins.
Yeah.
That doesn't make me feel...
well.
Yeah, that doesn't make me feel good about this toy.
Now, why is he... Well, I mean, maybe it's a prototype thing, but
why
then
wouldn't you
why
edit it
didn't
out
they...
the image?
Well, yeah, or why didn't you just get a better toy?
I like that.
Brawl...
Why didn't you just get a better toy?
Brawl has nice colors, but it's a bad design they've now done a relatively accurate toy of.
I still
So
think the
I'm
leader
like-
looks like it might have been better, though.
Yeah, there is that. It's just like, I think with Starscream, people suddenly went, oh, all the shit designs are going to be, decent figures now.
Mm-hmm.
So I like a bit of reality coming down here. I was just like, hey, here's this toy. He's got okay colors, and he needs pennies to stand on.
Yeah, maybe he will be better in person, but I would definitely say that this image of him, the stock image, makes him look messy.
Yep.
Just because of how his arms are posed and the weapons on his arms are posed, and you've got the cow catchers just sticking out the front of his chest. All of these things being the same colors, just kind of badly meshed together on the image, and just look like there's bits coming out everywhere from him, which is not great.
So you have the same problem in tank mode, where you have actually quite a nice looking tank.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then a bunch of accessories from a toy robot planted on top of it.
Yeah, it's all just, I don't know, stick it all on top. Sure, we can do that. Just put it all on the top, but it looks stupid. Put it all on.
All of it. But we already gave him 3
No.
barrels.
Shh. Don't make me pull out the rag from last night, Mikey.
For God's sake, let the rag go.
Never! Smell it!
Stop telling people to smell this, and does it smell of chloroform?
Well, Mikey, smelling of chloroform rags, how do you feel about tank modes with heads very visible in it, which is accurate to the movie, in fairness? Because I remember you sending me a message saying, oh God, Andy, the feet, oh God, the feet.
Yep, but it turns out they are mistransformed.
Are they? Oh, good.
They are mistransformed. I checked. There's another stock image, and he's standing up on the proper tread feet.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, I actually think he looks a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a really nice representation of the Revenge of the Fallen design. I think he could probably do with having 2 hands, because I know he did for a while in the movie. Overall, I think the basic sculpt looks very solid. I think someone needed to be a little less frugal with the paint. Because the stock images, not so bad. The box image... Oh, Andy, there's not... Considering the amount of detail on Starscream and Optimus of the same size class, and feckin' Grimlock...
Yeah.
What they've done with him visually, our Blackout... Wow. It's like they ran out of paint on everyone else, and just like, we have gold and we have some red. Just use that. Just use that. There's no detail on him.
Why did they choose gold? Because the box art image has no gold on it. It's the shot of Megatron from the movie, and he is primarily silver and black.
There's like some very toned down bronzy gold.
Sure.
But that's not the gold that's on him. But
no.
I like the base toy design a lot.
Oh yeah,
I just think, oh no, like, all it would take is a couple of line markers. Like, the Gundam markers will take over this guy. The panel lining will be real, but it's a little disappointing just when you can see they put the work in on the engineering side.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what's your thoughts?
Like you, I think it looks like a decent Megatron figure, I suppose, for the thing that they're going for. But it's real glaring that it's unpainted. It's completely unpainted. It slaps me in the face quite aggressively. So I can't say I'm too impressed with it. I think we've had better Megatron figures. And I think if a third party gets its not a third party, sorry, a KO company gets its hands on the mold, upscales it, throws in some metal, and actually paints it silver, that's gonna maybe be a superior version.
It's becoming a thing these days.
It is. I'm gonna send you an image as well, Mikey, which had a compilation of the brawls.
Compilation of the brawls.
CG brawl. The toy brawl, which isn't as messy of an image as we currently see. The leader brawl and the deluxe brawl. The leader brawl is not as clean as I remember him.
No, he is the best looking one overall. No, actually, the CGI model is the best looking one overall. But the leader one looks like the best toy of all. But he is also like being hugged from all sides.
He's a little fatty. Bless him.
Like, I want to put my arms by my sides, but I can't.
He's a little fatty with a really big backpack. Bless him.
What's to your left and right? I don't know.
Sadness.
So, I mean, like, the Studio Series has that.
Yeah, it looks more accurate.
And it has the power of pennies.
It does have the power of pennies. So, hopefully that won't be a legit thing. I don't know. I just wanted to throw that there just so we could remember little poor fatty leading class.
And then no. Poor fatty is Deluxe Brawl.
He's not poor. No. He deserved what he got. That was a terrible, terrible figure. I had it. Oh dear. Oh dear. Those arms never stayed pegged in. Ugh. Mikey, do you want to take us on to another bit of news then, as you sent me a few little extra bits?
Yeah, this one kind of jumped on me. I remembered it during the week, and I meant to talk about it, but it just went out of my head. Remember Wreck-Gar was revealed a little while ago.
Oh, yes.
Over on the Russian Transformers site. I believe something that was tied to their like web series they were doing.
All right.
And it was a redo of Combiner Wars Groove with a new head and new color scheme. Well, the same website has revealed that there is a Nemesis Prime Leader Class figure coming. And this one is covered in snow. Like, I actually think they took the picture of him in snow. I have a funny feeling. But this is interesting because there's quite a bit of remolding.
I assumed it was April Fool's, though, to be honest.
Day after.
Huh.
Yeah, like, this is one of those moments, I think, where they might have known about it and waited.
Right.
And I like, a lot of websites are reporting this thing is real. But, those are certainly all new mold designs for the extra bits anyway.
Yeah.
So he's got a sword, he's got two swords, he's got arm pieces that look like they're, like, I don't know what they, like, canisters of some sort. But they're based off of the Armada toy.
Really? Is that where they're from? Huh.
And most importantly, brand new head sculpt.
Yeah, weird one.
I dig it. For a Nemesis Prime.
I want to have a closer look of what it looks like. I want to see a closer image of it because it's not the best picture.
No.
So I'd like it to be like just get in there. It looks mean though, so that's a plus. My main thing is, what does Orion Pax look like? Because I really hope they've changed his head sculpt.
I can imagine if they didn't.
Oh god, I hope they've made him less round as well. If they've angled up Orion Pax, this might make me more interested in getting this mold.
I do like the idea that we've got Nemesis versions of Rodimus and Optimus, and they both at least have different head sculpts.
Yeah, it's something.
Like, this guy looks better than Rodimus, just on a brief glance, but...
He can't come with all the stuff, though, right?
Huh?
There's no way he can, because he comes with, like you say, 2 extra swords, 2 extra guns, the new head, and he comes with his standard ion blaster, which is stuck onto the back of him.
Yeah, but if they don't do anything with Orion Pax, they could afford that.
I guess. I don't know. It's wait and see, I guess, as we ever have to do. Doesn't look bad, though.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
The other bit of news was that we have the trailer for Rescue Bots Academy. Not really for us, but I had a look. This is noteworthy for me for a couple of reasons. One, female world, so the internet will explode.
Woo!
And also Wedge from RID is in there.
Wedge,
the little, he was Build Boy in Japan.
Oh, wow, okay. Cool.
He's one of the main characters.
Okay.
But we had a bit of dialogue from Optimus. It's not Peter Cullen.
Right.
And apparently, according to Vangelis, there's a rumor that they're using non-union voice actors for this.
Okay.
So I don't know if that means they've all been recast or only Optimus and a couple of others, but the disappointment is they clearly got someone who they told, pretend you're Peter Cullen, and then we will direct you to in the same bad way we've been directing Peter Cullen for years.
Oh no.
So it's not even the Peter Cullen effect. Like, you can't even at least say, well, it's Peter Cullen at least. It's a guy pretending he's Peter Cullen. But it's all by Boulder Media, Irish-based company, and it's coming soon to Discovery. But it's not a show I think either of us will watch.
No.
But it is officially now the longest-running Transformers series, Rescue Bots.
Cool. Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, so Andy, take us on with the last bit of other news.
Yeah, not a long bit, but it's just information that for TFCon Toronto 2018, they're going to have Gary Chalk going. And I'm pretty sure they've got David K as well, so you'll have Primal and Megatron in the same convention, which is always good. Now they just need to get Scott McNeil and the other guys, and you can have a real romp, as it were.
More like just get a cast reunion going, really.
Yeah, exactly.
What if they come back and they're just like, oh, we hate each other. We never liked each other. It's been, people keep wanting us to do cast stuff, and I'm just like, fucking Scott McNeil. Glory hog.
Taking all the ladies, drinking all
taking all the
booze.
Ladies, taking all the roles.
No, that's Steve Blum. Come on, Mikey.
They couldn't have Steve Blum. He wasn't in that one.
Not this time. Not that we know of.
Was he in Beast Machines? Why do I have a feeling he was in Beast Machines?
I don't think he was. I mean, he could be, because Steve Blum's everywhere. We're living in an age where Steve Blum could literally be everywhere. If there was like a voice to Skynet, I believe it would be done by Steve Blum. I'm just saying.
I found out during the week that Steve Blum once voiced Goku.
Really? For what dub? Funimation?
The GT Final Bout video game.
Oh god, that was a terrible game.
Yeah, with a decent opening.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll give you that.
But yeah, apparently Steve Blum voiced him in that.
Huh, so strange.
Yeah, it was, I heard it.
I can't imagine it would fit, though.
Also, I would recommend anyone who gets a chance, spinning off of this, try looking for multi-language Dragon Ball Super dub clips. Oh my god.
I tried watching that, but got kind of bored once I got through the first lump of dialogue.
But Andy, Spanish Vegeta
is okay.
A thing of beauty.
Really?
It is. Oh my god, it was the last chicken on the shelf for voice actors that day.
Oh no.
He's really bad. And the audio quality is also super bad.
They can't
French
always
Vegeta is all in for it. French Vegeta is playing his heart out, but Spanish Vegeta, no.
They can't all be Brian Drummond, Mikey.
No. They could try, though.
They should. Is that all the news then, Mikey? That's us done then, isn't it, news-wise?
Yep.
Cool. Mikey, what have you been up to this week? What have you done for fun? What's all the hubbubaloo about in the world of the Mikey?
I didn't do a lot this week, in all honesty. Didn't get anything. Like I said, money's gone on pre-orders and staring at pictures of Taran and going like, I could.
You made the mistakes, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah. But, it was money I didn't have in the first place, so that was the plan.
Yay.
TV and watch-wise, I had a few things. I saw Kamen Rider Build episode 30 today.
Oh, yes.
Which was the return of the plot, because it went full plot in this one. I've realized that if Build has a big section of really, really, really goofy stuff in it, it's usually a very plot-heavy episode.
Right.
Yeah, lots and lots and lots of plot stuff. So much plot you can't really talk about it. Like, at this stage, we're this deep in it. You just gotta watch the show if you're gonna watch the show,
Sure.
What else? Ooh, Victoria Evergarden ended this week.
I hear that show's pretty shit.
Oh, fuck you and everyone who you love. Yeah, not as strong an ending as it could have had. Remember back a few weeks back I said if it ended here, it would have been an amazing ending?
Yes.
It just had an excellent ending, not an amazing ending.
Oh, okay.
But that's a really good show. There's one more special episode coming up in the summer, I believe, but yeah, that show is done and dusted. Resolution to a military storyline, lots of character resolution. Very sad, very teary, very, emotional. But yeah, like, that is a really, really good show. It's all up on Netflix if anyone wants to see it. Really just cannot recommend it enough.
So you heard it here first, people. Mikey can't recommend this show. Sorry.
Nope, not enough. Darling in the Franxx, episode 13 aired.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god, I love this show.
I hear that's pretty shit too.
You know what? I remember when this started and everyone was telling me, oh, you're just watching it for boobs. You're only watching it for boobs.
Maybe, but it's actually really good as well.
These are just side benefits to the entire experience. Also, this show is getting really dark.
Good.
This is mostly a flashback episode. It's the reveal of a character arc. It's for 02, the main female character. Stuff is going to spin out of this. I'm very, very curious. Like, I'm really enjoying this show. So nice to have an enjoyable mecha show again.
Yeah,
so nice.
There's like none of them for the most part.
Yeah. I was going to have a couple of other animes watched today because My Hero Academia Season 3 and Persona 5 the animation started.
Oh, they've only started though, have they? Okay.
So, first couple of episodes are out, but I just completely forgot to watch them in time. A whole new anime season starting up. There's one show that's, well, actually there's two. Like, next week there's an interesting show airing that's like, oh look, cutesy dragons, but like the genre is fantasy, military, drama, sadness.
Mikey's specialty.
I'm assuming it's going to be subversive. And in 2.5 days, Steins Gate Zero starts.
Yay! Another happy show.
The thing is, if you know the game and you know what this is based off of, this can't go well.
How can it not?
No.
Stab.
Yep. Oh, God.
I remember the images you sent me.
She was a good girl. But the only other thing of note was I went to see Isle of Dogs, which is a Wes Anderson-esque movie. Or ass movie even. But it was actually quite good. Surprisingly good. I did not expect to really like it that much. I went in for the whole support stop motion thing.
Right.
And came out really impressed. Like, very well structured. Completely mad. Completely bonkers and weird. And so weird. So incredibly weird. Basic story. A company of cat lovers are advocating all dogs are sent to an island of trash after they all contracted a disease called dog flu, which might be contagious to humans at some point. And then a boy travels to the island to find his dog because he ain't having none of that shit. And he meets up with a pack of dogs led by Bryan Cranston, who is the only one of them who's a stray, and he's like, I don't like kids. A recurring line is, I bite. So, it's mostly told in Japanese and English, and I'm not saying like mostly not subtitled Japanese. There is some of it, and there's some of it translated by a young student interpreter.
Mm-hmm.
And also there's Tracy Walker, the most blonde Japanese transfer student from America who ever lived, with an afro the size of a small moon. And Yoko Ono's there. Okay, so Yoko Ono is in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Playing Yoko Ono. But it's not the Yoko Ono. It's a Yoko Ono. Acted by the real Yoko Ono.
Weird.
Very weird. Her English has not improved.
Ah.
Which is surprising, because I kind of assumed she'd be not sound quite so, how would I put this? You know, there are real dickheads out there who make fun of people for how they talk and then put on really bad accents.
Sure.
Yoko Ono literally has that accent.
Oh.
It's not her fault. I just kind of thought she would have learned how to speak the language she seems to speak since she lived in the West for a long time. But yeah, surprisingly good movie. I think it might secretly somewhere be about the American-Japanese internment camps during World War II, but I can't prove that.
Okay.
But the fact it's called the city they're in, it's set in the future, by the way. The city they're in is called Megasaki.
Great name.
Yeah, and there's a mushroom cloud moment.
Okay.
And I'm just like, Nagasaki, mushroom cloud. No, this isn't. No. Jeff Goldblum is in it, and it's probably the weakest performance of the lot, sadly.
Right.
But yeah, like, really good movie. If you're into stop motion, check it out. If you're into Wes Anderson, check it out. Be prepared for weird. But yeah, that was my week, really, Andy. What about you?
I've been busy doing some Dark Souls editing. I finished a review for the Figure-Rise standard Android 18 and got that up as well. I watched Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
That's the new one.
Yes, it's the new one with The Rock and Karen Gillan and all that. That's okay. That's enjoyable enough. It's nothing amazing. It's one of those sit down while you're having your dinner kind of meals. You don't need to pay a huge amount of attention to it. But it's fun enough. It just has a lot of connections to other movies that I've seen, like The Breakfast Club and things like that. It certainly doesn't feel like Jumanji. It's definitely not that movie, for better or for worse. I like Jumanji, so I was a little bit disappointed that it wasn't that. You know how they made a big deal about Alan Parrish being sucked into the Jumanji world?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's that dangerous in Jumanji from this video game version that we have now with The Rock and everything.
Well, they've all got extra lives.
Yeah, well, there's that, but it's also like, it's not... You remember the cartoon series that had how the jungle was really dark and oppressive and seemed super dangerous?
Yeah, the one that was just like, oh, it's the same kind of style as Real Monsters. Oh, God.
Yeah, exactly. It does not have that same feel to it. It's not... It's just in a quite well-lit, foresty-ish jungle. Nothing feels that threatening. It's certainly not going for that style of movie, which is fine, but it's different from what I was thinking it might be. I also watched The Last Jedi, Star Wars The Last Jedi. We could literally do an entire podcast of my thoughts on that.
We did last night.
We did, yeah, which is why I don't really want to go over it too much, because it would just eat up a huge chunk of time. Quickly rounding up my thoughts, I really dislike it. I think it is maybe the worst of the Star Wars films. It made me consider that the prequel movies aren't actually that bad in comparison to this. I legit feel that this is the worst Star Wars movie. And it's, if you like it, you know you're well within your right to like it and to enjoy it. But I think there are fundamental problems with how this movie has been made, with how characters have been treated, with plot holes, with just bad writing. It's just does so many really fucking stupid things. It was unpleasant to watch. I was 40 minutes in, and I started looking at the time, going, "How long do we have left?" And when you're doing that, that's not a sign that you're going to enjoy the rest of it. And I didn't. And Rose might be is horrendously stupid. She is the worst addition to this movie. She is a really bad character. who I hope J.J. Abrams will let not be alive for the next movie. Because she's in a coma at the end, and I'm hoping she never wakes up from it. And I have a feeling that J.J. might, unless mandated, leave her that way. God, just fucking awful, awful thing. And I've been continuing on with Dragon Ball from bedtime viewing. So Android 8 has been introduced, which is quite interesting.
Oh, Ader.
It's real slow though. It's paced just like Dragon Ball Z is. Like, there are moments where nothing is actually happening. Bless it. But yeah, that's it. I think that's all of the significant things I've been doing this week as I look around. Yeah, that's it. Mikey, where can people find you on the internet if you want them to?
You can find me on Twitter on Irish Paleo, and YouTube is YouWillPlay3. You can find me occasionally helping out in the oldoldhouse.co.uk, or whatever it is. I don't actually remember what it is now. Old Old House, you'll find it. If you want to contact me about anything to do with the podcast, you can email me on the Gmail, on the moonbase2@gmail.com, or you can send me a Twitter at the moonbase2. Keep your eye out, because we did a couple of interviews with some comic people during the week, so those will be out in the next couple of months.
We didn't. You did it. You did it.
I asked. You weren't there.
No, I know. I'm saying don't undersell yourself. You did the work for that.
No. I'm trying to make sure, like, there's blame to be shifted.
Oh, right, I see. Well, if it's poorly edited, you can throw that onto me.
Andy, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter and Tumblr as CCTFW, on YouTube as Scrubber Commander TFW. You can find this podcast on the Moonbase 2 forums. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on iTunes, we're on Libsyn, we're on most of those RSS feeds. We're also on YouTube as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. You can go to the email address that Mikey mentioned if you want to send us questions about anything, whether it be Transformers or not. And if
boob talk. I'm limiting the boob talk.
Only the boob talk, though. You can also, if you want to support the show, head over to patreon.com/moonbase2, and if you do $2 each month, you get From the Files of Teletran 2 early. You'll get interviews early, so you'll get it a week early before anybody else, and you also get the Moonbase Woo Woo podcast, which we still need to record for this month, but will be on Dragon Ball Super as a whole. So that'll be it. And you can find all of my nonsense on the ccbunker.weebly.com. So yeah, thank you, Mr. Mikey, for joining me this week.
Thank you for having me, as always.
No problem, and as ever, I will turn you into a bit of candy and eat you and put you in my tummy.
Milk the cow of life, Andy.
I don't want to milk the cow of life.
Milk the space cow of life.
It looked over its shoulder at Ray, and I was sure it was going to wink. It was that seedy of a look.
He thinks this is milk.
Oh, I will say that I do like the gif of Mark Hamill drinking that milk, because it just represents disdain. Disdain for this movie. I'm not a fan.
You are now leaving Moonbase 2.